Next week, I am really excited for the biggest event in chess, the Chess World Championship match featuring the greatest chess player of all time, Magnus Carlsen, and the Super Grandmaster from Russia, Jan Nepomniatchi. And I just wanted to give a quick overview of my thoughts on the players, their styles, and what to expect in the match. So we have Magnus Carlsen, and to describe Magnus in one word would be to describe him as pure genius. He is in the same conversation as Einstein or Mozart. Genius is characterized by people who are open minded and aren't limited by preconceived notions of how things should be done or how things should be thought of. And geniuses also have a knack for making complicated things simpler. Einstein was like that. He wasn't limited by thinking of mass and energy as separate things. Instead, he found a relationship between the two and made our understanding of the world easier, much easier and simpler. And Magnus's chess is like that. He can transform a position, making moves that defy all chess fundamentals and chess logic, but are just objectively better and give him a great advantage on the board. And he is most notorious for making a small weakness in his opponent's pawn structure, or just making a couple of piece exchanges and ending with a slightly better knight or a slightly better bishop and taking this really, really slim margin and carrying it for the win. That's what makes Magnus unbeatable. But Jan is the most dangerous opponent for him. Jan actually has a winning record against Magnus in competitive play, and that's because Jan's chess is ruthless, bloodthirsty. He knows how to attack, sacrifice pieces, create lots of complications on the board. And while Magnus is trying to create a solid, steady advantage, Jan can mix it up and make the game a true slugfest, which is why I am particularly excited for this match. And I hope to cover the highlights of every game on Facebook and my YouTube channel so all of us can enjoy this incredible event. Here's a quick preview of what we can expect in the match. This game is between Carlsen and the challenger himself, Jan, that was played earlier this year. And in this position, Jan plays an incredible tactic that I think Magnus just flat out missed. I'll give you guys a few seconds to find it. All right, here we go. So, what? The computer drew an arrow on its own. Oh, well, what's the point of me doing these anymore? It looks like the AI has taken my job. AI is going to take all of our jobs. Maybe that's why I became a psychiatrist instead of a radiologist or a pathologist. The AI monster will get to me later. So this looks like that we're just giving up a knight for free. And okay, we have some pressure on this bishop by these two pieces, but it's well guarded. But then Nepo goes here, um, and we're threatening to remove the defender of this bishop. So Magnus pushes him back. So now we take this knight, and we got our knight back. Um, Magnus trades this loose bishop, and so now we effectively, um, by this move, took the knight, threatened both these pieces at once, got the knight back, and look at White's pawn structure is completely ruined, and the king is weak, giving Nepo a solid advantage to work with. Magnus checks. He now does his Magnus things of giving away material for better piece coordination. So Jan now takes this pawn, and now Magnus takes advantage that this pawn is defending the knight. He takes the pawn off the board with his rook and then gets the knight. So Magnus essentially traded a rook for a knight, which is, not an even trade. Magnus lost material, but look at Magnus's queen. It's in a much better position, attacking the rook, the pawns, and this bishop is in a much better spot. So Magnus gave up that material for better piece coordination, just like the last game. But this time, Magnus's king is weak, and he's playing a ruthless attacking player. So check. Puts pressure on the king immediately. Magnus sidesteps. Then, seeing that the queen is better, Jan wants to trade his opponent's better pieces. So they trade, though Magnus improves his rook. Then we just start taking the weak pawns off the board. And Magnus tries to improve his bishop a bit. Jan just relentlessly attacks the next pawn. Then Magnus moves his bishop to a solid place. Jan just relentlessly starts bullying the bishop and pushing his pawns forward. Now, Magnus, we cannot take this bishop because then we lose the rook behind it. So that was a good trick, but Jan just attacks the bishop again. Now, if this rook takes the bishop, this pawn can't capture back because it'll be checked. So it's relentlessly bullying that bishop. He has to move it out of the way. Again, let's just keep attacking Magnus and giving him a hard time. Magnus tries to attack back. We're just going to put more pressure on this piece. Magnus finally retreats the bishop to a safe place. But now look at what's happened. The rooks are in an amazing spot. Now Jan's pawns are rolling forward. Okay, Magnus has a check. Gets behind, attacks some weak pawns, but we're gonna bully this bishop a quadrillionth time while pushing our pawns forward, while getting our rook into an excellent position off of all these tempo gaining moves. And Magnus has had enough and he resigns in this position because these pawns are just gonna menace him down the board, coordinated with these rooks, and there's nothing his rook and bishop can do. So this is an excellent example of Magnus playing in his Magnus style, giving up material big brain moves to increase his piece coordination, but was shot down by Jan's aggressive and relentless play and his beautiful tactical combination that gave him an opening. And that's why I think this match is going to be incredibly interesting, and I'll be providing highlights of every game starting November 26th. So please stay tuned to my Facebook and YouTube channel, and let's enjoy this amazing match together. Point of me doing these anymore. Looks like the AI is taking my job. AI is gonna take all of our jobs.
No, no worries, no worries. You're good. Stay good. Go ahead. Another game. Wow. Come on.
Can't believe I fell for that. I can't believe it, and I ruined my shirt.
I'm here to suffer. I'm just here to suffer. That's for sure. Why do I play like this here? I mean,